Randy here with Randy Repairs. We're on shaky cam this morning, so I'm going to put together a ceiling fan, and it's going to go there. So, but here's the caveat: I'm going to put the fan together, but I have an electrician that's going to put the ceiling fan up. Not that I can't do it; it's just that he's included it all in his pricing. When we're getting new, like all these outlets, these old outlets are being replaced, and so we had him give us a quote on that, and he's just going to do it. So sometimes it's better. I'll show you guys how to put this together, and quickly. This one's got an LED light. First thing we're going to do is get everything out of the bag. Here's the hanger. So we won't need that. He's going to need that, electrician. The drop bar. This one has a shorter bar in it. Most of them have a shorter bar too if you want the shorter bar. But for this room, we're going to need the longer one. So we're going to leave that together. That saves me a little bit of work. Okay. The fan blades. This is the cover for the drop bar. Okay. These are the little pieces of metal to put the blades on, to mount the blades. Here's the motor. Hardware kit, the metal blade attachments. Here's the short bar I was telling you about. We're not going to use that. That can stay in. This is the cup that goes on the top of the ceiling fan motor. It's a piece of trim. And then we've got the controller and the remote control. So let's get this out of the way. Here. All right, so basically, I'm going to take all this stuff out of the package. They give you the mounting gear. Let me show you here. For the, to mount through the ceiling, they give you some electrical connectors, more mounting gear. We're not going to use that. We're going to use different stuff. And there's a spares pack in case you're missing something. But this is what we need right now. This back here. So these are the screws and the little felt washers that are going to hold the blades, that are going to get the blades together. So let's get these out of the package. All right. There's a stamp on this. This is up, so that part goes up. So the on these the brown goes down, so these go up to hook into the motor. So basically all you do on this one is that fits in like that, and then this goes over the top of it, and then you take a bolt with a little felt washer, screw it together. And you do that times 5. I think there's 5 or 4. No, 5. There's 5 blades with this one. Okay. So we're just gonna standard Phillips driver. Switch around here. So if you're gonna use a power tool on this, like a drill or electric screwdriver, you want to set the clutch really low because you don't want to strip these out. You want them snug, so obviously they don't come loose. But I just use a regular handheld screwdriver. So there's that. So we're going to repeat that and over and over again. You can see again this side's up. No, I put it in wrong, didn't I? I completely did. So I was talking and not paying attention. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's on me. But that's okay, mistakes happen. You guys have been watching my channel long enough, you know. Nothing goes right the first time, it seems. For me anyway. And I don't edit stuff out like that. So if I make a mistake, you guys get to see it. Okay, so I'm going to flip that over. Make sure I'm right. Yeah, that's right. So I thought something didn't look right, and my brain's screaming at me like, something's not right, but I couldn't figure out what it was. Okay. And again, catching it now is better than putting it on the motor, trying to do it that way and having to pull everything back apart again. Okay, now we're up. So yeah, this part should be up on the black. That's just the easy way to do it if you get in this one. There's an Igo Star. I don't know. It's Igo Star. It's really a nice fan. Amazon, obviously, and it's not too horrible. All right, we're going to repeat that, and we'll get back to you. All right, we got all of these put together. The fan blades with the arms attached. Now we're going to attach it to the base here. This one here is shipped with a couple of guards that kind of hold it from spinning. So you just take those out of the way and you can discard them. You're not going to use them again. All right. So remember, this side says up. So this part's going to go like this. This is going to go like that. So we have the brown side down. So basically all you do, you just got to match up a couple of the holes, and I'll show you when I get this started. Hang on a second. This is my border collie's bed, so his hair is all over the place. You see hair everywhere. Nobody sleeps in this bed except the dog. All right, so we're going to do it like that. Okay. And this is kind of this can be the awkward part. These have lock washers on them, so you want to make sure the lock washers all the way flattened. Obviously you don't want a blade coming off. I do recommend tightening this back up again every few months, or checking it, every 6 months or so of use. Here where we are in Italy, we only use these about 3 or 4 months out of the year. So, typically what I'll do at the start is before we start using them, let me phrase that correctly, I'll go check them. I'll make sure all the screws are tight, and that way I know they're gonna last me over summer. They're not gonna come apart. I've not really had an issue with them coming apart here. But if I was to move into a new home that already had the ceiling fans, I most definitely would be checking those, just to make sure everything's tight. Okay. All right, one more. This is kind of where it gets awkward, because now you've got all the blades around, and you don't really have a lot of room to work. But believe it or not, this is the bulk of it for putting it together. And ceiling fans are pretty much universal in design. Some of them have, different fitting styles, but for the most part, they're going to be very, very similar to this. All right, now we're going to put the light in, just because I got it this way before I flip it over. So there's 3 screws that hold the light in, and here's the light. So basically, we're gonna take the top off for now. This is gonna fit down in here, and you can see there's a bolt. The bolt holes are all in it there. This one has a plug. So let me just do it this way here. Can't do that and hold the camera, sorry. Ugh. Okay. Now I've got the holes lined up underneath it. I'm just going to put a screw in. This is an LED light. It comes with a remote, and you actually don't even need a switch necessarily. This could be wired with power on all the time, because you can turn it on and off with the remote. You can also change the color somewhat. The color settings, like make it bright or soft. Okay, so now we're going to plug this in. And that's the one thing I don't understand about this plug. They put it on and it's basically upside down. You got to rotate the plug around. Okay, that's in, and then this goes on here. Okay, now we're going to flip it over, and we're going to put the rod on, and we're almost done. Okay. We need this at this point. All right, there's a remote control. So this is the controller, and basically it's a plug and play. You're gonna plug it in, plug it in and plug it in. You're good to go. But before we do that, we have to put this in. Okay, so this part has to go on first. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this correctly. This part goes in here like so, okay, because this is gonna be up on the ceiling. Then this part goes below it like so, okay. So you're just like that. So when you put this in, this will slide back down over and cover your grub screws or the bolts or whatever design yours has. Okay, so before we put the rest of this in, we're gonna get these up. And this can be a little bit. I tell you what, there's an easy way to do it. Let me show you. Yeah, let me get these off of here. Don't let me forget to put those back on. If you take this loose, there's a screw here. And don't lose the screw. You're gonna need it. And then there's a little grounding screw here. You just need to loosen that one up. Okay. And this pin will pop out. That's what we want. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to put these through. We're going to put these through. Now that they're through and they're easier to be through. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put you down here. So we're going to put this down. You kind of got to think about this in terms of being backward. Okay. Now there's a pin that goes through that holds this on. So we're going to put that in. Maybe. Come on. Try it from this side. Maybe I can do it better this way. There we go. All right, I'm going to put this little cotter pin on. Okay. Now these can be tightened back down again. So there's a couple little screws out here, little grub screw bolts that hold this in place. Okay. So you can do it like this, and then that goes on. Don't forget that. Then this has to go on. Okay, you don't want to forget that. Then we're going to put this back on here. So it goes through, and put it here. So this has this pin that goes through it, and then we're going to put it like so. Yep. And then this screw here goes back in. And I'm sorry, I'm on the opposite side. You can't see it, but there's a screw here. Okay, and then we're going to tighten this this ground screw back up. Okay. Then this gets plugged in here. So we got blue and white, blue and white. So we're just going to plug that in, and this gets plugged in here, and got white, black, and red to white, black, and red. Okay, and then this will be fitted in here. So this is for the remote. That's the antenna. This is what the electrician will use to wire everything, and this will bolt to the ceiling, and it'll hook on that, and then that'll go up around it. And I don't know how I locked that in last time, but I leave him everything. So anyway, that's how you assemble one, and when he gets it put in, I'll show you what it looks like.